Hello everyone, my name is Greg Heffron. I'm the Executive Director at Green Zone Institute, focused on mindful communication. And I'm here at the beach in Santa Monica, which is where I live. And this is coronavirus time, so I'm wearing my mask, pulling it a little bit down to do the recording. And it's quite a day at the beach. A lot of wind out there, so I'm hiding behind the lifeguard shack here and focusing on the safety warning here at the beach as a kind of metaphor for what I want to talk about today. I particularly wanted to talk about communication during this time of coronavirus and the difficulties. And I don't think I have to explain to you the difficulties because you're in it. And I know that there's a lot of different styles of conversation around this crisis and quarantine and what to do, what are the best ways to be, what's the best methods, how to go forward in the midst of all of this chaos and uncertainty, particularly uncertainty in people's living situations, economics, the future, how you're going to take care of yourself, all of these things. And I know that really varies country by country and even in different locations within countries. And of course, person by person, everybody's situation is different. And what I'm noticing is I'm noticing in my own country of the United States a lot of different reactions to this crisis. There's so much uncertainty and anxiety that it's triggering us all. We're getting extremely triggered. We're getting triggered really rapidly. And I wanted to talk about that sense of being triggered and how to work together, because pandemic is one of the ultimate examples of the phrase "we are all in this together." We can say that somebody is being stupid and they don't understand and they're not listening to us, and we want to reject them because it's very painful to feel disconnected. Pulling my mask down. It's very painful to feel disconnected in a conversation. That's actually a fundamental human truth. It's just painful to feel disconnected. Somebody's not listening to what you're really passionately trying to say. And I don't care what side of the particular issue you're on. There's many different issues. But that feeling misunderstood and cut off and disconnected is really challenging. It's really challenging. It gets you right where you live. And particularly when you're so uncertain about the future and you feel like mistakes are being made. And again, I don't care what mistakes you think are being made, but you think mistakes are being made and people are neglecting really important issues, and you're passionate and you want to help, and people aren't listening, right? So, this is not exactly a new situation. It might feel a bit new in the scale of it, and it feels that way to me, for sure. We're in a world level event. But the anxiety is old. The anxiety is the same anxiety that most of us have always felt in situations. I have things I'm passionate about and nobody's listening. Within my family, within my work environment, within my community, within my nation, within the world. And, you're concerned about global warming, or you're concerned about, colonialism, or you're concerned about the way big business is treating people, or you're concerned about family values, or you're concerned about anything, what's happening in your city. And nobody's quite getting what you have to say. And so I really want to focus in on that, because that, ironically, is the one thing that we have agency around. We actually do have the ability to affect, which is to recognize that that's happening, to recognize that it hurts, to recognize that in that moment where we feel so vulnerable, we actually can do something, and that thing that we can do is to care for ourselves. Now that might sound really lightweight. That might sound like a kind of a cop-out, like, how is that going to change the world? Well, I'm going to explain to you how it's going to change the world. From our perspective, the more severe states, the more negative states, hatred, greed, arrogance, all of these really difficult situations, ruthlessness, and even addiction, the addiction of, I have to get this person to like me or something. These more negative states are driven underneath them by this sense of neglect. We are neglecting taking care of ourselves. I am neglecting tending to a difficult situation in myself using whatever means I have available. The means I have available are, maybe it's the turning to the people who do understand me. Maybe it's calming my mind through meditation. Maybe it's reading poetry that helps me to remember the scale of human experience and put my own pain into that context. Maybe it's being at the beach, being out in nature. And so what I need to do is to learn how to take care of that properly, using whatever I have. Now, I may not have all the things I want. Life is a bit like that. So here we are, right? We have to work with what we have. But even journal writing, even just going for a walk and thinking about my life. It sounds superficial, but it's a way to take care of myself so that I don't escalate into these kind of more negative shutdown states. Now, what is the advantage? You often hear the argument, well, those shutdown states, those quote negative states, are actually really positive. And they can really help things, like being angry about something that's unjust, things like this. Well, okay, there is an open kind of anger that's actually solutions focused, that's actually energized and intense and leaning into a situation and engaging. Okay, fantastic, fine. That's not hatred. That's not arrogance. Hatred and arrogance interfere with that solutions focus. So, to prevent the kind of public pandemic of negative emotional reactions, we need to strengthen our immune system here. We need to strengthen it by caring for ourselves. And caring for ourselves then allows us to utilize the positive emotional energy which we will need to work with each other. Because it doesn't matter how frustrated I am at somebody. It doesn't matter how, they're just an idiot or whatever. Well, guess what? It's a pandemic. The pandemic doesn't care whether they're smart or not smart. It doesn't care who you are or they are. It's a disease. It spreads. Or, if your big thing is the economy, guess what? We're in the economy together. How are you going to sort it out without everybody else? We have to do this together. So I just wanted to stand here in front of the safety warnings for the beach, where they're warning you about getting sucked under by the undertow. They're warning you about rogue waves that come in and swallow you up. You know, they're warning you about the right weather conditions to even go in the water so you can enjoy yourself and stay oriented on the shore and not drift away. Well, that's what we need for our communication right now. And that's what I want all of us to think about. That's what I want to think about. It is very difficult. I will confess it is difficult for myself right now. I am really challenged at times. And I'm sure you are too. But I want to encourage us that taking care of yourself is never the wrong step. Soothing a kind of recklessness, a kind of impatient, impulsive desire to just wreck it. Let's just wreck it. You know, it can seem like a nice, simple solution, but we're actually looking at the results of that. Our world and the challenges we face are the results of a kind of reckless mentality. How do we reverse that? How do we keep that passion that we're going to need to work with each other, but bring it in close so that it stays connected to our hearts and to our minds, for that matter? We need our intelligence and our emotional sensitivity. So please take care of yourself, and please stay safe. And I really wish the best for you, for all of us in this difficult situation.